Hi everyone, it's Anne here from Positively Papercraft. Now I think this will be my last video until Christmas Day, which is, I think it's next Sunday. Yeah, there's going to be a little video next Sunday, Sunday afternoon, which will be a little clip of Kitty and Oscar opening the presents on Christmas morning. And then I've also got bloopers from this year that I'm going to include in that video, so that will be next week. But I thought we're not necessarily going to make cards or anything. This is going to be my favourite techniques that I've probably done throughout the year, so hopefully it might give you some inspiration, because you may have a few last minute cards to make, or you don't have to make them Christmas. You could incorporate these techniques in, cards for any occasion. So I think the first one, my favourite, is making, I think you already know, is making your sort of own embossing effect look, like an embossing folder kind of look. You can use any dies you want. I've used these snowflakes. Now what I did before I cut them out was I put double-sided adhesive on the back. I used some Sizzix one because I have loads of this stuff still, and it's just a case of peeling the backing off and then just sort of sticking these wherever you think, sort of looks the best, or however you want them. So just peel it all off. And even though these are those cut and lift snowflakes, everything's going to be stuck because of the adhesive. So I'm just going to start really positioning them on. Now the best effect is, don't avoid the edges of the card. It makes it look sort of more like a realistic embossing folder if you have them, sort of coming off, and then we would just snip them off. There we go. Now I think it probably would have been better to have another little sort of piece there, and maybe it's a piece there, but you get what I mean. But I love doing this technique, and as I said, you can do it with any dies that you already have. Alright, now another thing you can do, so this is sort of another technique that you can do with this. So once you've kind of got the look that you want, if you have any of this stuff, which is called Print Magic, it's by Debbie Moore, and it's an embossing powder, but it's very, very fine. This one is called Winter Lake. So I've got some Versamark ink, and all I'm going to do is cover the card in the ink. So now that will be sticky, and then this beautiful fine powder will stick to it. So now you can get a beautiful Christmassy effect, but it's not as thick as regular embossing, so it isn't gonna just completely swamp the image. And then you're just going to heat emboss that, and it just gives a very subtle but very sparkly effect. So I will emboss this, and I will be back. Okay, I've done that, and can you see now it's glossy, but it just has this beautiful glitter. Okay, so I think that is definitely a favourite. I love using the Print Magic. But yeah, you can just sort of create your own kind of embossing folder. Okay, this is another favourite one of mine. Now, obviously it's favourite, so I've done them before. I think some of these may have been on the embossing folder video that I did. But you get new people subscribing every day and people miss things. So basically I've got a piece of card and I've just cut some red stars. Again, I've put double-sided adhesive on the back of them. Now I'm just going to arrange them down one side of the card. It's just really to show you how this works. Alright, so I've got them on. Now all I'm going to do is just take an embossing folder. I've got this one that looks like snow, and I'm just going to put it in, and I'm going to run it through my Big Shot. So I ran that through, and when we take it out, I think it's really cool because it sort of embeds the card into the card, like the cutouts into the card, and in a way you wouldn't really be able to tell that it was just die cuts that you've glued on. So yes, I love that. You could use any dies, any embossing folder, but yes, that's another favourite. Alright, another one that I like to do, again we'll have covered this before, but I've got a card base and I've got washi tape. Now all I'm going to do is put the washi tape, I'm going to put this one sort of in the middle as much as I can. I'm just demonstrating this. Obviously if you want to measure it and stuff you can. And then I just fold it over. So I've got that down the middle, and this gold one I'm going to put at either side of this one. Alright, so I've got that, and then again get another embossing folder. This one is Snowflakes, and I'm going to run this through the die cutting machine. Alright, I have run that through, and then isn't that just so pretty? That's just made some washi tape just look so much nicer, because you also find that a lot of the time I don't think washi tape sticks very well. I'm sure you've all got loads of the stuff, and it's just a nice way to use it. Again, it sort of embeds it into the card, so really even when you run over you can't feel sort of any ridges either of where the tape would start. So you can just do lots of different patterns. Again, try different embossing folders. It's entirely up to you. That is another favourite. Alright, this is another one that I really like. Now it involves a laminator which I haven't used for such a long time. So what I've got is I've just grabbed some A5 laminator pouches. Any laminator pouches will do, but this is what I've got. So I've got the pouch, I've got 2 A5 pieces of white card. So I'm going to open the pouch, and then I'm going to put one in the pouch. Then I'm just going to put a scrap piece of printer paper in the middle. Then the other piece of white card on the top of that. Okay, and then I'm going to run this through the laminator. Alright, so all I'm going to do is just cut open the pouch, and basically it will only laminate each side of the card. So then you've only got technically one side which is laminated. Okay, so you will have 2 pieces of one-sided laminated card. Okay. And then what we can do is we can make our own stencils that we can actually wipe down and reuse. But because we've only laminated one side, a die will actually cut out of it. If you just did this the regular way and it came out, you know, laminated, one piece of card laminated together, the die won't cut through, but this way it will. So one-sided lamination. I've got this die here. You can use any die you want, but this one you can cut it in the cardstock or you can completely cut it out, which is why it's great to make a stencil. So I'm just going to cut it out like this on the laminated side. And then you can see there, but it has actually cut. And it's sort of similar to acetate. You struggle a lot of the time to cut acetate out, but with this being, this is the sort of genius part of it, that with the one-sided lamination you can then die cut it and it makes a beautiful stencil. So I'm going to get on, do this, and then I'm going to show you how we just show you basically what it's like as a sort of wipeable stencil. There we go, that's die cut lovely. So I've got a little piece of card, and just to show you, I'll just pop that on. I have got just a bit of ink here. Obviously I would, you know, secure it down, but I just want to show you basically, and then you can just turn this in to a stencil that you can wipe clean. I mean, obviously I wouldn't, you know, run it under the tap or anything because the back is still paper, but the front is protected with the lamination, so you can wipe it over. There we go. And then a baby wipe probably would be better, or a damp cloth, but you can just wipe that off. Like I say, a damp cloth or something would be better, but I've got a bit of this. You can see that there, it will just all come off, so you can then reuse that stencil probably quite a while actually. So I think this is one of my favourites. I love doing this, and you can use what, you know, whatever kind of dies you have, or your favourite dies or whatever. So I think that's going to be it. As I said, I will be back on Christmas Day with just a, you know, a shortish video, and I have some bloopers as well from throughout the year, so you might get a giggle with them. But yeah, I hope everyone has a lovely Christmas, and my website, you can still order anything if you want to, but it won't be shipped until the week commencing the 4th of January. Same with any queries about orders, I won't be answering any of them because I'm off for Christmas now. I know there's still a lot of people waiting, but honestly, Royal Mail is just, I don't care what they say, it is in a complete crisis at the moment. Parcels are just sitting, there's, you know, they just can't handle it all, and the strikes are just making it absolutely worse. So I am aware there's nothing I can do, they're in the system. I'm certain you'll get them, but when is another story. So unfortunately there's nothing I can do about it, but hopefully they will be with you soon. So as I said, have a lovely Christmas, and I will see you all on Christmas Day. Thanks for watching, take care, and bye for now.